The cost of things that we buy are about to skyrocket. Now, earlier today, somebody asked me, exactly when is this going to happen? Hey man, if I had a crystal ball, right? If I knew when Trump's policies would tank the economy, we'd all be gearing up to buy on that day. What really cracks me up is that I teach my 500,000 followers how to trade, invest, and simplify their lives. I am a self-taught investor. I've been investing for 20 years, trading stocks for 14 years. And by the way, I don't sell anything to my followers. If you go on my website, everything is free. Like, not even an email sign up, no Patreon, no buy me a coffee, nothing. I'm not here to make money off of you, unlike a lot of other finance content creators in general. I'm not here for your money. But it cracks me up when I get so many followers. And look, a lot of my followers know about the markets, they know about investing, they're well informed. Maybe they follow me because they want to see what I'm talking about in the markets that day. Maybe they pick up a thing or two they didn't know, whatever. But a very large majority of the people who follow me, almost 500,000 on all of social media, don't know anything about the world of the stock market, which is fine. That's why I'm here. That's why I do this. That's why I started this account over 6 years ago. It was because when I first started investing over 20 years ago, I didn't know anything. And there was no platform like this where I could write someone on a comment section and say, hey, can you explain what a dividend is? Or can you explain what a Roth IRA is? In fact, the only people I had that I could ask 20 years ago were my mom's financial advisor, stockbroker, and some family friends who were heavily invested in the markets. I thought maybe they would help me. I called my mom's broker, 2003. I want to buy stock in Apple. I think it's the future. And he said, nobody wants to listen to music on the computer. I had another financial advisor friend years later, like a couple of years later, when I was working double shifts in the restaurant industry, making minimum wage, living at home with my mom. And I had read or heard somewhere about a Roth IRA. And I called this guy and I said, is this something I should open? He said, don't bother. Don't waste your time. That was the advice I had gotten when I was in my 20s. Which is why I run this account now today, which is why I have this account today. Because there was nobody there for me, so I want to be there for people who need it. So if a large amount of my audience doesn't know how the economy works, or how the stock market works, or how to invest, I'm here. But it really cracks me up when some of those people who a week ago were saying, what's the difference between these two S&P 500 index funds when there is really no difference, they're identical, is now telling me that I'm wrong about the economy and how tariffs work and how tariffs will affect us. You know that expression, fuck around and find out? A lot of people don't realize what they have just done. The cost of everything is going to skyrocket. Not only the cost of imports, medicine, food, clothes, shoes, home goods, supplies, lumber. Not only are all of those things going to skyrocket, but people are going to lose their rights. Women are going to lose their rights. The transgender community could lose their rights. People of color, immigrants, could lose rights. We are going to see consumer protections get rolled back, regulations get rolled back, corporate taxes get cut, taxes for the wealthy get cut. This all impacts the middle class and the lower middle class. Because when tax cuts on corporations get cut, who do you think foots the bill? Middle class taxes are going to go up. Not only that, but with this mass deportation plan, who does our agriculture? Who does a lot of our infrastructure, construction? Immigrants. When they're gone, who's going to fill those jobs? Right away, it might not be anybody, which means that with a very limited supply in the workforce, prices of things could go up dramatically. And while we're talking about tariffs, let's talk about them very briefly. I was live this morning on TikTok and someone said, I would rather have tariffs go up than have my taxes go up. And I was like, but tariffs are like a tax. They're going to be passed on to you. I made a really funny joke. Well, it wasn't so funny. In another video that I posted this morning where I said, if you have ever been to a Five Below, that store, their stock got crushed today. It went down from like 96 to like the low 80s at one point pre-market. Five Below got hit so hard because a lot of the stuff they sell comes from China. If you think Five Below is expensive, wait until they rebrand themselves as 15 Below, because it's coming. Now, I understand that some people think that these tariffs will bring back jobs. Elon Musk the other day, someone left a comment on X or Twitter and said that Trump's plans will destroy the economy, but then after a couple of years, things will improve and they'll get better. And Elon said, sounds about right. Let's talk about what he meant when he said sounds about right. The reality is, when you impose tariffs like this with the intention of bringing jobs home, jobs don't just come home the next day. It's not like you hit the tariffs and the companies go, oh, all right, like, let's just open some factories. There's a lot that goes on. This can take years, if not decades, to bring these jobs home, set up the factories, build the infrastructure to accommodate the new workload. I'm talking about bridges, ports, airports, roads, hiring a workforce, training a workforce to build all of this stuff, create all this stuff. Doesn't just happen. You are naive if you think it just happens overnight. So what did Elon say when he said it sounds about right? People will hurt for a little and then it will get better. When will it get better? Because most Americans cannot ride out 3 to 5 years of economic downturns. But you know who can ride out an economic downturn? The billionaires. People are pissed that large corporations are buying up all the affordable housing. What do you think happens when massive tariffs come in and everyone is scrambling to pay their bills? How many people do you think are going to be foreclosed upon? And who do you think is going to benefit from that foreclosure? Do you think it's going to be lower income families? Or do you think it's going to be the super, super wealthy? Not just millionaire and billionaire investors, but BlackRock, corporations who buy up all the housing are probably drooling over this. They're probably chomping at the bit for a 5-year economic downturn where so many people get put out from their homes, foreclosed, can't afford rent. Wouldn't it kind of make sense that the billionaire real estate developer would maybe want this to happen? Huh? Makes sense to me. Last thing I want to address before I end this video is I've seen a lot of people laughing, and I've seen a lot of comments addressing the laughter, saying like, you know, it was never about the policies, it was never about the high gas or the cost of eggs, it was about being mean, that it is okay now to be mean. And I've seen person after person laughing at people in my comments and on other comments on this platform for saying that they're worried, that they're scared, that they were up all night crying. And they were like, oh, it brings me joy. They love it. That's what it was about for a lot of these people. It wasn't about the policies. The guy didn't even share any. He didn't even have a policy. They just want to be mean. So for the people who are laughing because your fellow Americans are scared about consumer protections going away, about workplace protections going away, about regulations, about immigration, about women's health care, about transgender rights, if you're laughing at them, I'm sorry, but that is the least American and the furthest thing from patriotism that you can be. And, to wrap this all up, they're not going to be laughing so much in a few years. Which is, I think, probably how long this is going to take, by the way. I mean, if you understand politics and how things take a long time to get done, then you're fully aware of how, Trump inherited Obama's strong economy. So a lot of people are misinformed when they think, well, the president becomes president on day one and now it's his economy. No, it takes years to put these things into action. We are still living through a lot of Trump's policies right now. So for the people who say, I want to see what it's going to be like under a Trump presidency, you're living through it now. Just as a quick example, Joe Biden had this click to cancel policy. They had the idea in 2021. They had a draft of the policy written in 2023, and it will not become law until 2025. By the time Trump's policies are really full into effect, he is going to be out of the White House or nearly out of the White House, and it will become someone else's problem to clean up. A lot of people fucked around, and I'm sorry to say, I think this whole country is about to find out.